Google it. You can go to Wikipedia. You'll find it there. He's done a lot of wonderful things. He was doing something at a point, but he discovered some other things. And he said, this is what I could do. I don't want to read this about myself. This is not what I want to do about myself. You know, there's another saying that says, I always love this. It says that, someone said it, I don't know who said it, but I love to say it about myself. It says, when I was born, I was crying and the world was laughing. But when I die, I want them to cry while I'll be laughing. That tells you about purpose. If you just stumble and walk by the streets and all you do is to do a 9-to-5 job, have kids, have a husband, and then you die, who is going to mourn you? I'm sure your kids will, your family will, but is that where it ends? Won't you want the whole world to have a public holiday because you have died? No, seriously, think about it. It can happen to any person.
What I want to say as my consideration to the topic is about, after discovering your purpose in life, how are you going to handle that purpose? Because most of the times we fall behind by looking on the negative side of what we were not supposed to look on. For instance, someone after discovering his purpose, rather than going for that purpose, is trying to fight some other negative attitudes which will limit that person to reach the purpose, which is very wrong. At the end of the day, we find ourselves spending much time and energy and also resources fighting what we don't want to be, rather than using those resources to what we want to be. And this is very negative according to me, because that resources, that time, that energy you are spending in trying to preventing the negative from coming, you would have used that time to focus on the positive, thinking about positive stuffs. At the end of the day, the negative ones will just fall and you'll go on and getting what you wanted, and that's purpose in life. At the end of the day, you become a victorious person with what you have already got and not what you tried to prevent from coming on your way. That's my contribution.
I just want to talk something about, Charles was talking about value, you know. Value to me is like a filter. You see, we have a lot of information we always receive, or a lot of opportunities, you know, we receive in our life. But if you don't have values, I think Charles talked about 3 values, you know, God and, you know, whatever, you have values. That is your filtering. I mean, if you know, you have, say, 3 opportunities or 4 opportunities, what is really your value? Is something can guide you to say, I can take this, or I don't need this.
I personally come out with one great challenge that particularly in the African continent, that to discover your purpose has to do much on issues of acceptance. That if you don't accept yourself as you are, if you don't accept yourself as person living in Africa, living in a certain lifestyle, or surrounded by a certain cultures and all to do with that, you cannot easily discover your purpose. Of course, it's good to have people like your role model. Of course, Brother Charles spoke of Nelson Mandela and other people, that sometimes it's good to look and what they did, and sometimes and follow what they did. But you cannot take as a whole, because you might find yourself living in another person's purpose instead of living on your purpose. This is my worry, that if you won't be careful, and this is a tendency, a culture that have been developing in African continent, particularly even in our country, that we have few of us who most of the time have been struggling to live in a certain life that they cannot make it, because actually you can one way or another say is not falling squarely on their purpose.
But let me, on behalf of the management for East Africa Speakers Bureau, but again on behalf of the Steering Committee for the Leadership and Leadership Forum, to really express our sincere appreciation for your coming today. As we said, we understand how busy some other people here are, but we spare some time to come and share and inspire the rest of us to really achieving to our full potential.